This is not appropriate for me to start with the peace greeting, to be fair. Underneath my video, I believe it's the one, I believe it's the second one about, I forgot. It's underneath one of the two that I put up about Bumble and its messages of celibacy. A commentator named Kim said, and I quote, "You're admitting to being a grapist. I've never been on a dating site, and this is why weirdo like you are on them. It's funny you want sex so bad, but obviously suck at it because all your girlfriends cheat on you. No right to say no, you're a grapist. FYI, women don't want to enjoy sex. The ones that do are hoes because of trauma. Women give sex as a gift. Unfortunately, women nowadays are tricked into having recreational sex thinking they can get something out of it because of our demonic culture." These are her words. Shouts out to Abraxas Grant for telling her off too. I appreciate that from the bottom of my black heart, from the depths of my black mind. Kim, if I was a struggle-snuggle specialist, like you say, I'd be in a jail graveyard. And in our religion, no, the spouse does not have the right to just deny the other spouse. Now, there are reasons, valid reasons to do it, but these are very rare reasons. And the same demonic culture is the one that teaches you that if you marry a man, it is his job unconditionally to protect and provide and problem solve. But you get to decide not to do your duties on a whim, and you are entitled to be irreplaceable and have no help. So he's literally supposed to accept a deal in which he can arbitrarily be forced to keep up his end of the bargain and nobody keep up their ends of the bargain. Same demonic culture. And if women don't want or enjoy sex, you're pretty much saying that God oppressed you. You also forgot to punctuate, and that is another thing. Oh, your writing sucked. Grammar too. If I was on a dating site, I'd be divorced again. I wouldn't be married. You think she's going to stay while I'm on a dating site? And if you personally don't enjoy sex, then don't marry. If you hate that men enjoy sex, go argue with Allah for creating men and creating sex. Don't worry, there are many men who argue with Allah because he created you. And I mean plural you, women. Thinking that he created you to be as confusing and as impossible as you individually, singular you, have chosen to be. If you think weird men are on dating sites, then that means you've been on the dating sites while denying it. Now, you also said, what if you're not celibate, but only would have sex with someone you're gonna marry or married to? You're reducing me to that. So if I withhold it, you're weeding out people that want to degrade you. I've never dated because guys want to have sex. I'd rather be alone than be used and risk my life with a man that would sleep with anything, spreading disease and creating broken homes. They tell women to choose better. When the answer is creating better men, why do so many women get duds? Like, I would weed you out because you clearly hate women. Why would you want to sleep with someone that thinks you're worthless? TF. Okay, well, Kim, let's dissect this. What if you're not celibate, but would only have sex with someone you're gonna marry or married to? Okay, you misspelled gone. You misspelled going to even by text language standards. I mean, the informal spelling is Gonna, and you spelled it Gunna, like somebody that totes guns, you know? You were supposed to say someone you're going to marry or are married to. Really, you're supposed to say someone you're going to marry or to whom you are married. Then you write down you are. I mean, literally the letter U and the letter R, reducing me to that. So if I withhold that, you weeding out people that wanted to, well, hold on. Are you talking about you or are you talking about me? You need to keep your pronouns straight. This is what it really means when people say, get your pronouns right. This is what they're talking about. You're supposed to say, so if I would hold that, I'm weeding out people that want to degrade me. You didn't say that. Next thing you say, I've never dated because guys want to have sex, so I'd rather be alone than be used and risk my life with a man that would sleep with anything spreading disease and creating broken homes. Okay, first off, I'd rather be alone than THAN. You spelled the THEN. It's creating with an E, not creating broken homes. What am I going to do? Take couples that are divorcing and put half the home in one box and the other half in another box? Here's a crate with half of your house. That's a big crate, ma'am. Come on. Even for half a home, because it's been broken. Then you said, they tell women to choose better when the answer is creating better men. Why do so many women get duds? Well, ma'am, that's two sentences. Now, you did punctuate the question with a question mark at the end, but before you say, why do so many women get duds, you were supposed to start that why with a capital, and better men before that was supposed to be ended, punctuated with a period. That's a run-on sentence, technically. Like, I would weed you out because you clearly hate women. Well, I'm sure you'll weed out men that hate women or that love women. You'll weed out men, period. I mean, you're trying to make it sound like that's what you would do. Why would you want to sleep with someone that thinks you're worthless, TF? Hold on. Now, TF, you're supposed to say, why would you want to sleep with someone that thinks you're worthless? You spelled "you're" correct, thank goodness. Question mark, then space, then capital T, then capital F. You could either, you probably should punctuate that with a question mark too, because you're shortening that as a contraction for "fut the wuck." That's a question. See, you slept in school and now you want to sit up and talk down and sun me. That doesn't work. Kim, if I hated women, I wouldn't marry, much less love my wife like I do, who's a woman, in case you didn't realize. And I'm aware of her flaws, in case you suspect me of being blind to them. If I hated women, I wouldn't communicate with my daughters, nor would I be willing to help my son marry a woman. I would not communicate with my prospective future daughter-in-law, inshallah, whose spoken English is quite slow. When you ask, what if you're not celibate but would only have sex with someone you're gonna marry or married to? The answer to this, ma'am, is that, not only can you not argue with that kind of writing, but if you're going to type correctly, then you need to wait until you get to a full-size laptop or desktop, and then you still need to learn how. I'm sorry, I keep on thinking about this nig literacy you got, because you nig literate ass neck rollers make me sick. You make us sick. Plus, getting to the point itself, I didn't say I only sleep with women I'm gonna marry. I sleep with women whom I already married. We're married with a contract already when we get to smashing. Yes, I have this standard too. Even if the potential wife wants to fornicate before the contract, I don't go along with that. So I'm not the one being told no. I'm prepared to say no. And I know that bothers you. And knowing that actually makes it more fun to be that prepared. But I won't involve even potential future wives in this grudge of ours that you started when you said I admitted to a crime. I will be crippled permanently if I even try to commit, though. Now, if you've never even tried to use a man for his money and you're a virgin, then at least you're consistent in your morality, except for one thing that's left. If you have never even tried to use a man for his money, or you have used a man, you know what? No. If you ever did try to use a man for his money, or you used a man for his genitals, then you are inconsistent in your chastity after that fact. Well, that's an insult to the next man, unless he's exactly like you, having fornicated equally to you and now repented equally like you. If you do marry a man after you have fornicated, you should help him find partners to fornicate with, to get him to a level of experience with which you can respect him. And that's still fornication. So you're still immoral if you do that, and you're immoral if you don't. Now you have a choice between outright immorality or a hypocritical morality, or should I call it a moral hypocrisy? I don't know. You won't be able to respect a less experienced man than yourself. In most cases, you got a very low chance of even being able to do that. So this means you're probably ruined. Unless, like I said, you're a virgin and you never tried to use a man for anything. Welcome to the gender war you wanted, if you did, though. You know, You said, like I would weed you out because you clearly hate women. Why would you want to sleep with someone that thinks you're worthless, TF? Well, obviously, I don't hate women, but let's talk about men that do and don't. Men who see women as valuable have less sex than guys who don't, regardless of marital status. And even though they may be sexually selected themselves, the fact is that they are also not chosen as much as guys who see women as worthless. So seeing women as worthy by default results in them being ignored sexually, even by virgin women, even by their own wives, and treated worse non-sexually too, even by virgin women and even by their own wives. On top of that, you falsely accuse me of something I didn't do and can't do. And that's the height of immorality. See, this is why men are worried about false accusations. You all take things and interpret them just so that you can accuse a man of stuff he did not do. You're not the first one to do this. One woman that was interested in me did this. You all equate men finding heterosexual satisfaction in the private parts of women with the R word because you don't like men being happy. Let's just call it for the what it is. The little power that God gave you between your legs, you must abuse. Moving on. The better men you think it's an answer for God to create are being taught to not be better by women, not by men, except by men who succeed who succeed sexually, actually, with women in the first place. The only men that are out here teaching men to not be better are the ones that you all want to smash and do smash and don't even hide the fact that you smash it. You validate these men, and they're the only ones that can come along and tell us to not be better. Believe me, if mean guys who see women as worthless were failing with women, no other men would be able to be convinced to see you women as worthless. It takes exposure of mass dishonesty and deception on the part of women for men to see you as worthless. And even then, men look at the culture that created that and they start to call the women from that culture worthless. We're not sitting up here and saying that traditional women are worthless. Without this sexual success, literally smashing sexual success, all puns intended, men would not, those successful guys would not be able to convince other guys to follow in their views. Most men have the confusion of women lying to us about what you want, then the clarification of that confusion by the men who we witness succeeding with you once these successful chaps explain that they don't value women that much because they know what lies you're telling. I mean, plural you in this case. So how else is it that married guys can smash single women? Some single men can smash many married women, and many single guys can't even smash single women, while almost no single woman is a virgin. The answer isn't in creating better men. Allah already created both genders and gave us both free will. The answer is in an incentive for men to be better to women, and in the West, that is gone. Even women who want to incentivize and reward good behavior are silenced, especially if they're young and cute. You may have experienced that yourself. You're certainly aware of that phenomenon. That's why you got to put me in my place and tell me something, but you can't sit up and tell the women who have created the gender war, because we men didn't do it, to stop fighting with the gender war. The prevailing culture, and you know this full well, is to penalize good men, even if the man is in shape and fine looking to women, and to sexually reward the badly behaved men at the financial expense of the well-behaved men who can afford to break off some bread or go change a tire or do some repairs. Create better men. Most of what you want is involuntary on the part of men anyway, and the behavior that is voluntary is penalized with the friend zone, annoyance, childish behavior, teasing, and lies as soon as that behavior is moral. Hell, by me stating my own value and stating that a woman is not allowed to be celibate with me in a marriage, you call me the R word when it's clear that I was referring to the options of polygyny and divorce as the recourse, though I have allowed my wife to think that I would pin her down and take it by force, since there is no such thing as marital R word in the Sharia law or in the laws of Saudi Arabia. But the truth is, I just simply wouldn't stay married to a celibate woman anyway, and I wouldn't pay a dime to take care of her during the divorce period either, even if that is a sin, because sending the wrong message that it's okay to eat from a man's earnings while denying him his rights could be a greater sin. So I don't mind, if my wife thinks that I would break the US law and pin her down, I don't mind her thinking I would, but I wouldn't. Just don't tell her that. She's a good woman, but just in case. Kim, the issue here is that you call me the R word in a country and legal system that doesn't recognize that inside of a marriage anyway. Much like if I don't spend money on my wife and she steals it from me to eat and get her clothes and meet her rights, she's well within her right to do it. No penalty. It's not like somebody else stealing my money. She's my wife. I'm supposed to spend on her according to my means. See, this runs both ways. And not only that, I'm still not allowed to deny her the drawers if she needs them. See, God is fair, and I'm saying this because of a point that I'm about to make, and I'm about to land this jet black aircraft, if you don't mind. You insinuated that men have no rights, but we still have responsibilities, as if Allah is some sort of oppressor of his creation, just because his other creation is feminist and misandrist. This was not just a false accusation to me, which is bad enough, but an approach to outright blasphemy, if not outright blasphemy, with this insinuation that Allah is unfair. If you believe in God at all, then heed your words, as I must also heed mine. And if you don't believe in God, then who gave either gender rights or assigned responsibilities to either gender from the start? Who set the difference between right and wrong? This is why I say, Kim, on my channel with no shame, there is no God but Allah, and his alone is all the dominion and praise. We belong to him and we return to him, and he has power over all things, you and me included. And if he decides to prioritize your libido that you deny having and the male libido that you demonize over the materialism of either one of the genders, then so be it. That is his right. That means he created us accordingly because he does not oppress. And he will not oppress. Even on Judgment Day, when people are being thrown into hell for different lengths of time, some of them forever, it will not be due to him oppressing. It will be because he is just. And this is why I even ever started saying in the first place, black, heterosexual, non-select male power because you don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction or Allah's Judgment Day. I appreciate you all listening, and I hope this helps. And thank you all for flying with me again here on Jet Black Airways, where jet black is also a verb. And I would suggest that some of you go to the first class section of Jet Black Airways, buy me a coffee, link in the about section and in the description, so that you can also hear another message. And that message is about the historical inaccuracy of this idea floated by some so-called sisters in their misandrosphere, that giving birth to black boys and raising them means raising future enemies of black women. Thank you for flying with us again here on Jet Black Airways, where jet black is also a verb. Keep jet black with us till the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender justice forever.